Hi, everyone, and welcome back to The Stylish Bride, the podcast dedicated to making sure you are dressed, styled, and down the aisle. And today I am here with someone that I've been dying to interview for a very, very long time, sitting in her beautiful store. So I'm here with Giselle from Spina Bride. And thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited about this interview.
Hi, Julie, and hi, guys. I hope everyone's doing well today. I'm so glad you're here. I'm excited about this interview. It would be great to walk you through my shops and kind of get to know each other.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's dive in. I want to start with a little bit of background so people understand the context. Tell us your story.
Okay, so we actually are getting into our 3rd-year anniversary now.
Congratulations.
Seems like just yesterday. We're really excited about that. We actually grew from a 600 square foot space, small little hole in the wall in the West Village, now into the Highline location on 18th and 10th Avenue. We ended up creating that little West Village location into a flagship store for one of our designers, and that's really special and curated because girls like to go in there and completely make their dream dress from scratch, which is amazing. And then they walk into our bigger store on 18th and 10th Avenue, and it still feels intimate because you have 2 separate areas, the front room and the back room. We have amazing designers from all over the world. Part of our concept for this brand is that everything we carry is an international designer, and they're all exclusive to us in the East Coast or the New York tri-state area, which is really hard to do because you kind of have to really keep the designers happy and you have to keep the brides happy, and it kind of has to work for everybody. So we have designers from Australia, Israel, Budapest, even European designers, which is great. But everyone has a different story. There's a bespoke designer, Samuel Couture, that comes in and does all the tailoring for brides in the actual store herself. She actually physically lives in Brooklyn now, but she buys all her fabrications from Europe. And the Australian designer we have that has more streamlined silhouettes and very clean looks. And then we have Hannah Morales, who is nowhere else to be found in the United States, and we brought her in, which is super exciting. She's an Israeli designer. She can open up necklines or change skirts and things like that. And she has really beautiful 3D florals in her assortment. And particularly one really cool gown that I personally love myself is a strapless first skirt one. So I'll have to show you that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's really
I would
cool.
love to see it.
Delarna is one of our personal favorites as well. They've been with us from the very beginning, and they love to mix and match things with us and create collections that no one else has that we just carry, which is really great. And we also have heirloom pieces by a designer named Daphne Newman. They do a lot of beautiful handwork, all silk tulle, nothing yellows after the year, so you can really pass it on. And of course, beautiful slip dresses by a designer named Ala Rogue. They're amazing. It looks great on a lot of different types of bodies, and you can pair them up with little overskirts, etc. And then obviously one of the biggest designers we carry in the shop is Liz Martinez. She really brings a lot of traffic. She's an Israeli designer, and a lot of her pieces really evoke romanticism and 3D florals, which are very much in now, and just flowy fabrications, which the girls are really looking for now.
Yeah, oh my gosh, they really are. Now, taking a step back for 1 second, you first started your business with a floral design studio, and you still do that. Yes. And then you have 2 locations here in New York City. And just tell me a little bit about why you went from floral design, which is a completely different thing, to wedding dresses.
Yes, it's kind of interesting. When my business partner and I started the concept, we originally thought, okay, well, we already have florals going on. Why not maybe bring in flower girls? No. It was much too small of an idea, although I love flower girls, but we wanted to encompass everything that had to do with weddings. And at first we thought it would be really easy because, we already know everybody in the wedding industry. It's completely different when you get into bridal. So it's a bit of a challenge in the beginning, but we pulled through. I used my background, which was in sourcing and production, and that's more knowing fabrications and textiles and cut and make. And it really helped because a lot of the work that we do here is custom. So the girls feel really comfortable knowing that there's somebody who understands what they want to capture on their day, even if it doesn't exactly exist on the rack. But going from floral events to full bridal, it just seemed natural because we wanted to create a lifestyle company.
That's the piece. Because there's really nothing natural about dresses and florals now that,
but now
look at it.
Nice because we can tell our brides, well, we do flowers for your day. We do events for your day. We have wedding planners such as yourself that we recommend and stylists such as yourself.
Yeah, I'm not a planner, so let's back up.
So sorry.
No, that's okay.
I thought you did both.
Just styles.
Okay, well,
yeah, I mean,
Julie, I feel like you're everywhere. Everywhere I turn, I see you. So I feel like you do it all. But listen, stylists are amazing. They're an amazing growth part of our business. And I really appreciate you being here and taking a note of the fact that we're trying to do things a little bit different from what's out there in the industry and trying to make this into more of a lifestyle company. If you can see our Instagram as well, kind of captures that as well. Yeah, what we're trying to do is involve our bride as a bride that's looking for us for ideas and not just for a bridal gown or not just for flowers, etc. So we kind of want to be that engine that people come to us and look and say, okay, well, Spina Bride's cool. I would like that and that for my wedding day, even if it's a headpiece or makeup or nails, and that we post on our Instagram as well.
I actually saw the nails recently. And I was like,
so cool, right?
I have horrible, little small nails. I could never do it, but it's so cool. So I guess my question is more of a business question, but, why try to... not everything to everyone because you have a very specific look, but you're doing so many things. And I get the lifestyle brand, but just tell me a little bit more about the rationale behind it.
Well, at first we kind of wanted to be a stop and shop, right? Like a shop where you can come in and say, okay, well, this is where I'm going to get referred to for makeup, hair, my nails, my dress, my accessories, my veil, everything, shoes. Because if you think about it, if you do that, it's easier for a person who's not looking to search for everything. And it is hard to do because what we have is very curated. So it doesn't really apply for every single bride that comes in. But all we can do is basically refer business elsewhere to anyone in the industry, such as yourself. Oh, you're looking for somebody to style you on your day. Well, guess what? I know Julie and she's amazing and et cetera, et cetera. But, just having that easy information in your fingertips and just passing it on really just goes a long way. And it helps everyone else in the industry, not just yourself.
I think that's actually such a good point. And brides are so inundated with information. And it's something we talk about on this podcast all the time. And curating that down from a specific perspective, when it's the right bride and you capture that, they want this look, it's, you guys will see in the video that we're going to do afterwards, but every piece in here almost goes together. I can see a bride wearing, these dresses with this headpiece and that robe for getting ready and this overskirt. And it really is a curated from your perspective. And I think that that's what makes it so special. And I think that, I've taken several of my brides here and they
Thank you.
Of course. And to your other store as well. And they love the calm, the peace, the beauty, the smell, just everything that you do to your...
I'm so glad you said that about the peace and tranquility. We actually do treat this space as if though it was a spa. When you walk in the store, everyone takes off their shoes. We get you into spa slippers. We give you tea, water, or champagne if you say yes to the dress. And we walk you around. We tour you around all the designers and their story. And it's your space. No one else is in the space at the same time. So it really feels warm and curated and like it's your own. I mean, it's your special day, so why wouldn't you be able to have this amount of square footage for your day?
And just a beautiful environment. And, as I was doing some research before we spoke, a lot of people talk about it as you're a disruptor in the wedding fashion industry. How do you feel about that?
I like it.
You do? Okay, so tell me.
I like being noticed. I also like being behind the scenes. So a lot of times where we get posted by our brides or people refer us, they usually say, oh, well, they're different. They're not like other bridal shops. But I like that. I mean, it could be different bad, but I think it's different good in a way where I feel like brides are coming here for a statement piece. They're coming here because they'll know, oh, this is a Spina Bride dress, which is really cool. And, just having the idea that they're family and we're not same here you go, here's the dress, and then saying goodbye. It's more, here you go, here's the dress, and I'll see you later because you're going to send me pictures and you're going to refer your other brides here, and we're going to give you a beautiful candle that will always remind you of the scent that it was for Spina Bride, or just having that curated nice experience. Like, there are brides here that come 3 or 4 times and they'll say, I haven't found that dress yet, but I know I want to buy from you, so please, like, help me find the dress. Like, and we'll say, well, what are you looking for? And it's really nice to have that from our brides because, you want them to be your brides. You want them to be your friends, quote unquote. And they want to feel that trust in the relationship.
And who would you say your target bride is? Who is this woman you're speaking?
Well, I do know she is 25 to 35 in years of age. She is more international. She's definitely the bride who wants to make a statement. Our average price point, I would say, is about 5, and then the other store 5 to 8. But it's the girl who basically wants her dream dress that she can't find out there, and she's looking for something custom. She doesn't want to look like her friends.
Right.
Which
is something I hear more and more of.
Whereas before it used to be like, my friend wore this and I'd want to wear something similar because I think that looks really beautiful. Now it's the complete opposite. I don't want to look like my friends.
And I think it's also a great resource for a lot of the other outfits. I've had clients where we've done a wedding dress elsewhere, let's say, but they're looking for an amazing rehearsal dinner dress, and we come in and try on your gorgeous slip gowns over here.
Exactly. And a lot of these things can also be dyed in a different color, which is great.
That's cool. I didn't even know that.
Which is so nice. And
do you do that by hand? Who does that?
My designer actually does it. I mean, this particular designer, the slip dress queen, I call her, is based in Paris, and she actually dyes her own small dye baths in Paris, which is so nice. She lives in the outskirts of Paris, and it's a beautiful old home, and she has a small team. At one point, what I want to do is actually travel around the world and visit all of my designers and see where they actually do all their work, so I can actually share that with my brides as well, because I think it's really important to see how small businesses work.
Can I come?
Yes, absolutely.
Here's what we should do. I have a great business idea. It would be a show. We could go and take all of the small wedding producers around the world and do a show about it. Wouldn't that be cool?
I love that idea. Don't leave me out in it. I love that idea.
Are you kidding? No way.
Go.
No, because you're the one who's curating all of this for the American clients and the people who fly here.
Yeah, we really have a good time. Our designers, I'm actually really excited because bridal market is coming in the next 2 weeks.
I know.
Right around the corner.
Again.
And all of my designers are coming, and I'm like, where am I going to put you all? But I have 3 trunk shows, one at the LPG store, 1 and 2 here, the Liz Martinez one and the a la robe one in the front, and Lee Grebenau, obviously, at the other store. So it's going to be really busy. They're amazing.
So how involved, tell me a little bit about the process that you go through in selecting these designers.
So actually, when we first started, it was a lot of Instagram soul searching. And I stalked a lot of designers and put myself out there and said, I know I don't have a shop yet, but I want to bring you in. And some trusted and some didn't. Obviously, it takes a lot for you to say, I want you to be exclusive to me in New York, Tri-State area, or in the East Coast, and trust that I'm going to bring business for you. So a lot of the people who first started with us are still with us because they trusted us and we trusted them to bring us on board. Like Delarna has been with us from the very beginning. A la Robe has been with us from the very beginning. We actually paid rent with just A la Robe slip dresses the first couple of months.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
But because, when you first start off the business, you don't know who your bride is. You assume you know who your bride is, but she actually kind of grows and evolves and you evolve with her. And I tell all my brides this space is curated for you. If you tell me you don't like this and you like that, we're listening. We're changing styles and bringing in styles that will actually work for you because of what you say to us. Oh, I envision myself in this, but my budget is this and I can't afford that, but I would like to have this top with this skirt. Well, why not? Why can't you have it all? So that's kind of what we're trying to strive to do and get ahead of the curve to make sure that we can attend to all different types of brides.
And it's actually, I think, what makes that very unique is that a lot of the larger bridal designers, and I will not name names, won't do any changes. Mm-hmm. And if you want something done,
they're probably scared.
I think it's also that, they design it and they think that's how they want the dress to be. And they don't want their design to be compromised. But that doesn't always fit. And, some things can be done in fittings sort of like on the down low and some can't. So having the ability to really customize with each one of your designers, I think is an amazing thing, except when the bride can't envision it.
Exactly. And, you can tell when a bride can't envision versus a bride who's willing to take the risk and trust us. And, I'll tell the bride if they're not 100% for it, listen, if you're not looking to customize and you want a dress just as is, we'll help you find a dress just as is because they're beautiful as they sit on the rack. But then if there is that girl who wants to be a little bit more risque and wants something different, and, we do put things together. For example, one of my designers can change a top and a skirt. So we'll put the top on her and we'll put another skirt over it so she can kind of see it in the mirror. So things like that are easy to do. I feel like where it's harder to envision would be at the Lee Grabinell salon because the designer's physically not there. So myself and another stylist are the only two that really hold hands with the bride and her team and really put things together and really envision things. But, we can put a lot of things together and show the bride this is what it's going to look like. And unless she sees it, you're right. She's not going to go for it unless she feels comfortable. And it's more of a trusting relationship that she's building with us to say, this is going to work, Otherwise, we can't sell it.
It's true. Yeah. And I think some people just don't have that, like the ability to envision. And then it's important to know that it's not for them. And, I would imagine that's something you train your stylists to know because custom on the wrong person is a disaster.
Oh, absolutely. And we luckily have not experienced the disaster part so far because we've been good about being vocal about, okay, well, this is what it's going to look like. I can't show you a drawing after. She's not a bespoke designer. Whereas Samuel Couture, that's in the Highline room, you can actually see the process as it goes. Because she physically comes and she'll do a toile for you on your body. She'll get the fit perfect. And then she starts layering on the fabrication. So if you're that girl that actually wants to go shopping with a designer to find fabric, she's your designer.
That's very cool. Yeah. And her stuff is absolutely beautiful. I've known her for a long time.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I think that it's just very, oh God, I don't even know the right word for it.
I think her stuff is ethereal. I mean, she does a lot of beautiful silk tulle fabrications. And actually one of the hottest styles that she has right now is an all over lace. It's 3D lace, again, kind of floral, but it's sheer underneath. So it's actually just kind of covered wherever it needs to be covered. And then the rest of it is sheer and it's 3/4 sleeves. So it looks on the rack like it could be modest, but then the girl gets it on her and she's like, wow. So yeah, she's doing really well.
So how do you communicate to brides out there before they come into the store the different perspectives? Because as you look around the showroom, they're very different. And so, yes, from your curated eye and through Instagram, but, how do they know that they can come here and get that? And
so it's interesting because the brides who book in for us already know the designers. A lot of them already know the designers. So they're coming in specifically to look for that. Those who don't are looking on our website, and we have a beautiful gallery that lists out, these are the designers, these are the pictures of what we normally carry year round, and the prices as well. A budget does really play a role in like what you want to get yourself involved in. If I have a $5,000 bride coming in, which is a great budget, she may not want to get a $10,000 dress. But, if I tell her it's bespoke and it's fully tailored and you have the experience with the designer, she may. So in reality, I think the curated experience comes when they walk through the door and we tell them about all the designers and we speak about the budgets and we speak about everything that all the designers can do. That's when she really can say, you know what, I can venture off to that spot or that designer, or you know what, let me stick with this instead. So she really has the option to do that.
And brides actually don't know what wedding dress cost. Almost every single one of my clients, when I ask about a budget, they're like, I have no idea. And wedding planners ask me. Someone asked me last week, my bride's asking me what a good wedding dress budget is. What do you think?
And just keep it open.
Yeah, right. But, so I think that it's important, I'm a firm believer in not trying to sell a bride something she can't afford, which is not what you're saying. But then on the other side, she might be able to afford it if she understands it and values it.
Yeah. Give her the option to look around and to feel and to touch. And if she does want to fall in love and try on a really expensive dress, it's really on her. You can't avoid her not picking up a dress that she can't afford. But, eventually brides come in here and no one's ever upset. We're pretty vocal about everything that the designers can do and depends on if they have a Pinterest board and what their style is. We'll wean them in the right direction. We'll say, well, okay, I know your budget is this and you can't specifically get a Samuel Couture, but there's a style that looks similar to that, that's comparable and that's within line. And here it is, so there's always something.
Right.
And they appreciate that.
What is your best tip for brides in setting a wedding dress budget?
I would say take the budget out of the flowers.
Says the florist.
Yes.
Amazing. Or floral designer.
Or change to plants, instead of flowers and put all the money into your wedding dress. No, in reality, I do feel strongly about the wedding dress because it's what everyone's going to remember. It's what everyone's going to look at. You're the center of attention for the entire thing. I do also like versatility. So if a bride says, well, I have a $10,000 budget, but I wanted to get 2 dresses. Well, we have a jumpsuit you can wear underneath, and then there's an overskirt that makes it look like a wedding dress.
How awesome is that?
So 2 in 1, why not?
Why not? Now, because your designers are all international, does that make the timeline longer or any of them quick? Like, what can a bride expect?
I would say normal lead times for us is anywhere between 6 and 8 months. And that's door-to-door production. And they do get inundated because they're smaller designers, not just because they're international. But they do their best. And if there is a bride that's in a crunch time frame for a rush fee, they'll put her in the front of the line and they'll get her a dress in 3 months.
Okay, so that's the rush. So no one should come in here like, I'm getting married in 4 weeks and need a new dress.
You know what? I always try to help out a bride. So if that does happen, and it has happened to us before, I always, depending on the situation, can try and sell something off the floor.
If she's a sample size, that works.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you're a last minute bride, try to be a sample size.
Or I can refer that bride to a sample sale.
Yeah, absolutely.
Location. Yeah.
No, I think that's great. I think it's important information because I know that a lot of times the more detail that goes into a dress, the smaller the producer, the more bespoke each garment is. It just takes longer. And that's something I think brides today, you order everything. You have something the next day, sometimes the same day on Amazon. And the timing is really...
Well, brides also forget that they also need to alter their dresses, right? So I have a production timeline of 6 to 8 months, but then seamstresses also have their timeline because they get busy. So in reality, they should also be buffering another 2 to 3 months just to be on the safe end. And just so you have your dress in your hands the month of your wedding date. And you're not worried about it getting hemmed, or if you lost weight, or if you need to do something else to it, or you change your shoes, or whatever the situation is,
right. And you don't do alterations on site,
so
is that right?
I have a girl that works for us to do minor little tweaks here and there, or if it's a last minute bride, or if it's a bride that's coming in internationally and it's only here for like 4 days. But I prefer to send my brides to someone who has a big business. So one of the seamstresses I recommend is So Elegant. She actually did my wedding dress for me too, and I trust her 100%. And she's dealt with almost all of these dresses for the last 3 years. So she's flexible, and she's just on 39th Street, and we have such a good relationship together that if she ever needs anything, I'm just a phone call away. So my brides don't feel like I'm leaving them after they get alterations. I'm still around. We're still around. We're still supporting. She doesn't work for us, but she works to make sure and to ensure that every bride is happy.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
And it's nice that you don't have, from a business standpoint, that whole other arm.
It's just, I wish I could. It's just we're curated and we're small and we're private appointments. So in order you kind of have to choose which one's better. Like, I'd rather give the curated a one-on-one experience to the bride and then have her deal with the seamstress one-on-one on her time instead of doing all that at the same time in the same shop.
Right. Well, I think that this has been incredibly, incredibly helpful and informational, I think, to all of the listeners out there. This is awesome. And I love that you're here and that you're doing so well. And I love to see the growth and to come into your beautiful shops.
Thank you. Well, stay tuned. Who knows what will happen to us in the next year?
Ooh.
A lot of good things are coming, which is nice. Yeah.
A little teaser. Okay,
yes.
Well, I'll come back and we can talk about them when they come.
Sounds great. Thanks, Julie.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
And for all of you out there, Thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope this has been really helpful and informational, especially if you're a bride who isn't a traditional bride looking for, what is out there in a lot of the bigger stores. You should definitely check out Spina. Check out her beautiful, beautiful Instagram, which the handle is @Spina Bride. So also check out Spina NYC. And then make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. And if you like it, leave a little review so that can help people find us and, tell people that we're out there. And check back with us next week so that you don't miss a tip on how to be dressed, styled, and down the aisle. Bye for now.